Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zakay and welcome to another episode of Believer. Today I have a special guest in the building. He's a great artist. He's a musician. He's a worshiper by heart. He's a businessman. And with a sound that stirs the soul and the lyrics that speak life, Alton has become one of South Africa's most moving gospel artists. His songs like Sterk Toering and Die Donker Tunnel is Lang carry more than melodies. They carry ministry. Alton doesn't just sing, he breaks chains. His music is a reminder that God is close. He's not just an artist. He's a messenger called, set apart and anointed to lead the hearts back to the Father. Ladies and gentlemen, Alton Zakay.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you so much. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Nah, man, it's an honor for me to have you on the podcast today. Obviously, I've been admiring you from afar. I remember the time when Ster Toren came out. Ek sê, wie is die? Because it was like, I could compare it to when the song came up, as long as I am breathing.
Okay,
it was in the same time frame.
Okay, yeah.
So what shocked me was the video was on the same quality. I'm like, what? It is a color. So I was absolutely blown away. And so I just want to give you props, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Give you your flowers. You've been doing amazing. I think you take your time when you produce tracks, and we can see it. I think Ster Toeren is way over 1 million views on YouTube, going for 2 million, and we are proud of you.
Going for 3 million.
3 million. My.
I think it's 2.7 if I'm correct.
Sure.
If I'm correct, I'm not sure.
I mean, I think the songs like Ster Toeren would be remembered 50, 100 years from now, and people will think it's hymns.
Yeah.
But who is Alton Zakay? I mean, we see the views and the followers, but who is the man behind the songs, the man behind the followers? Who's that guy?
Well, I'm Alton, born and bred in Port Elizabeth. I come from Ellenville, Calvindale, where I grew up. From there, I moved to a different area in the northern areas. Extension 21, my mother's elder sister. So I moved that side, but that's who I am, Alton Zakay from PE. That's how I tell people.
Okay.
Or how I explain to people who I am. I don't like to do the lot of accolades and stuff like that.
Okay,
but that's who I am.
Okay. Now, when did you know you can sing? Because I didn't know I can sing, and then I got to grade 9. My father was like, man, you can sing, lead this worship song and so forth. So I'm like, yeah, man, I can sing. When did you get the realization that you actually blessed in that area?
Firstly, I come from a family that loves music, and the first time when I was in church, it was in my auntie's church. My auntie's husband is a pastor. Okay. So I grew up by them, right? And then in church, obviously as a pastoor's kind is basically, because I'm their child also. You have to play keyboard, you have to sing and stuff like that. So my cousin did it first, and then I was very inspired by what he did, how he did it, and then I started doing it, and that's where I discovered, hey, I actually can sing, and I can do a few things. And from there, I got introduced to a group called the Jordan Dwellers. So it's elderly guys, quartet group. Okay. And that's where I've learned everything concerning my singing, and they've invested a lot in me, actually. Okay. If there's people that I need to give credit to for many of my successes in music, it's the Jordan Dwellers, because that they laid a solid foundation. That's where I saw how you run the industry. That's where I saw how you carry yourself. You know, one of the things that I still we'll probably talk about it just now, but one of the things that I took from them, those guys always traveled with their wives.
Okay.
Wherever they went, their wives always go. That's one of the things, one of the fundamental things that I took from them. And many of the things in the music industry I've learned from elderly people that didn't have the what you call it, the degrees or all of these kind of like things. But they had the natural knowledge concerning singing, music, and they got it they grew up at farms and stuff like that, all of those kind of like things. So it was a very beautiful journey, looking at it now, being much older. So that's where I got my musical. And my mother is a singer. She sings very nice.
Really?
Very, very, very nice.
Sure.
Mother sings. I think my mother sings way better than me.
Yeah, no, man, let's also be another question is
100%.
Why gospel? Because usually singers, they start in church. But I can tell you right now, all the singers, all the people, even in Hollywood, they started in the church.
I agree with you.
But why did you choose to go in the gospel scene?
I think I also just mentioned that I grew up in a pastor's house.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
and there I didn't have a choice. There was not. I didn't even listen to secular music.
Okay.
There we only did gospel music. I can still remember when there was a hit song that came out that time. I was very small. I was probably like 10, 19. Then there was a song that came out. That was the first song I played on the piano. I'll say the means of it. When that song came out, that's when I started playing piano, because that was one of the first songs that I played.
Sure.
Because it's like a 1-4-5 progression. That was the first song that I played in my uncle's church. Sure. And at home, my cousin taught me the chords. Out of F sharp, it's F sharp, and then it's B, and then it's C sharp. That was a yellow song, bro. So, the reason why I chose gospel, as I grew up, obviously I got exposed to music in a different way. I sang with the Jordan Dwellers, which was just gospel. Then I wanted to explore. I tried Idols, auditioned by Idols, made it up. I think it was top 40 something, top 48 or something like that. And then I got cut. But whilst getting cut, there were so many other people that couldn't believe it why I got cut, And I was like, nah, maybe it's part of God. It was part of God's plan. Thinking about it now, probably part of God's plan that this is not for me, because after Idols, that's when things really started happening.
Sure.
That's when, and then that's when Sterktoring and all these other songs came, and that's when I started meeting a lot of musicians, good musicians, Neville D. I started working with Jonathan Rupain. I mean, that time these guys were doing very well.
Yeah, they were massive.
And they were already massive that time. So that's when things started happening for me. Okay. Especially in the gospel world, and that's when I knew also, no, this is me. Sure. This is what I want to do. And outside that, whilst being a gospel minister, I got to vocal train so many artists, like the likes of Bevan Samuels, he went to Idols. Yeah, Crystal Daniels, he went to Idols. Tara Cox, Keegan and them, all of them. I got to work with them, and I got to train them vocally. I got to do a lot of things.
Sure.
In that regard. So gospel has always been my thing, man. Yeah.
So how important is it to, like, because I believe you can't sing gospel
and
not know who you're singing about. So you have a beautiful relationship with the Lord.
Most definitely. I love the Lord.
Yeah.
Everything that I am and that I'm experiencing in my life today is because I have a good relationship with God. Despite all the things that has happened in my life, I believe God took me through it for a reason. I'm speaking on things wherever I go. When I go speak to youths and young people, I speak about don't skip the process. So there was many processes that God took me through, which I probably felt disappointed, because I felt like, why don't my parents have money? Why don't my dad have this job? Why is my dad and my mom not married? Those kind of like things. I asked a lot of questions. Today I have a better understanding concerning it, because I would have never been the man that I am today if I didn't go through those kind of like things, So to answer your question, I have a very good relationship with God. I talk to God as if I'm speaking to my father. Like, I tell him, Ish, I need to go there tomorrow. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how. Can you please help me? And God would always come through. He would either work through people, or he would answer me. Because God does answer. He definitely answers. If I look at my life today, I can't give a lot of people credit but God.
Sure.
There was people that was used via God, but it's God that needs to get the ultimate praise for it. for what He's been doing in my life.
Amen.
So, yeah, I have a very, very, very close relationship with God.
I do believe that there is absolutely no way. And I usually tell people this. Tell them that God created us. And your purpose in life, you can only find your purpose if you are connected to God.
True.
And so I want to ask you now.
Yes.
Have you ever doubted yourself?
Many times. Many times. I've doubted myself with a lot of things. A lot of things. And I also think it's sometimes good to doubt, because it also brings out a different kind of person. Because now you would want, I'm like this. Before I say I can't do it, I'd rather try, you know. So whenever I started, like especially when this idols thing, because when I got eliminated, it made me feel very bad. I thought, yo, can't I really sing? But the whole country is telling me I can sing. This 3 judges is telling me, no, you can't.
Sure.
You know, so I started doubting myself, and I went in through a depression. But at the end of the day, I'm a go-getter. I always go for what I want. It doesn't matter what I go through. I go for what I want.
Sure.
So I think doubt brings a different kind of person out of myself, which I appreciate.
Sure.
Because I like working for what I want instead of just getting handouts. So yeah.
Yeah, like on that topic, semi unrelated. Idols.
Oh.
I just want to tell you guys. Okay, idols is done now.
It's done now. It's
over.
done.
But here's the deal.
It's done.
More people that didn't win, the runner-ups, the third, the people who went to the top 40 who didn't make it. Those are the people that are successful today.
True.
Because
100%.
I believe, in some sense,
100%.
they didn't really cover the people that won. Because there's a level of fame that comes. Ne? You got R1 million, so obviously now I understand
Did
what
they get the R1 million?
You see what I'm saying? That's also a question, idols. Did the people get the million?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I've worked with many guys that won idols. You know, I had Norma on my productions. I never asked him the question because it's not my thing to know. I never asked him, did you get the R1 million? I had Tommy. Rest in peace, my brother. I had Tommy on productions that I worked on. I had a lot of guys that won idols on productions, and I had a lot of guys that didn't make it up until the top 1 or the top whatever. Most of the guys, when idols was booming, most of those guys, I mean the Ray Mavaris, Terra Cox, Keegan, I've worked with all of them.
Sure.
And we still have relationships today. You know, myself and Rema, we sit together almost every second day because I'm in Joburg now.
Sure.
So we still have a very close relationship. And it's so true what you say. Many of these guys that didn't make it up until the top what's and the what's, they are the guys that made it.
Exactly.
I mean, they do it. They're either in business now or they're either doing... The one thing that we can't take from idols, the platform was good.
Yeah, the platform was amazing.
So the platform, it's like what the Bible says, your gift will make room for you and it will bring you before great men.
Yes.
I think idols formed part of introducing you to the great men, because now the great men started seeing you because you were on idols.
Yes.
I'm not saying idols is the great men.
Yeah.
I'm saying the people that saw you on idols is part of what the Bible says.
Yeah. Yeah, because in some, listen, I know of at least 4 people that won idols, ne? That said,
I can't even remember.
The people say it's a curse. I'm not saying idols is a curse. Say winning the competition is unnecessary pressure that comes with it. Because look here, if I tell you tomorrow, I'm giving you $1 million. For the people who don't understand that $1 million is not that
it's not
much money, ne?
Yeah.
You can't really even buy a decent house right now with $1 million.
You can't buy a house.
So people think, $1 million, you sorted for life. You're not sorted for life.
No, definitely not.
And just, I want to cut this conversation right here, but shout out Younger, bro. Because Younger won the competition.
Who's Younger now?
Younger is the one that...
Yes, that
Younger,
short African lady.
Musa Church.
Big, and she sings beautifully. Yo,
shout out Younger, shout out Matema, shout out all the people that went into the gospel scene.
Yes.
Brandon Prey, shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I can't even remember the name. You're giving me the names now. And now it's ringing a bell. I know all of those people, but I forgot about But those are the names that's current still.
Yeah.
You know?
They're still
I mean,
doing
look
something.
at Musa.
Mm.
I don't know where he is.
Exactly. And Brandon Praise was the runner-up to
Fool.
Musa. And Brandon Praise has built okay, listen guys, I don't want to idols, ek het 'n persoonlike ding teen julle, but anyway.
And why did you guys stop also? Like what's going on there? Yeah, man.
But listen, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
I always knew that I would call to preach the gospel, né? And so I did it in school. And then I felt like after this, I should become a pastor immediately. And I was upset with God and my father and pastors why I'm not validated yet at 20 or 19. Because I haven't went through any process yet, but I wanted the validation. Have you ever been in a situation where you know you are called?
Yeah.
Né? But the process takes so long. He's not going to groot stage. Have you ever been there before you know the person that you are today?
Yeah.
Was it difficult to understand the process?
I think it's something that will always be difficult to understand. I think many young people struggle. Even myself, I used to struggle with it. I mean, I'm saying used to because the moment I spoke to God about it and God started doing the right things for me to understand the importance of going through processes. You understand? Because it's like, I'm making this comparison now. It's like us that grew up in the 1990s without gadgets and all these fancy things that you have here today.
Yeah.
Those children and the children of today. Today's children, sorry to say, I'm not bashing anyone, but today's children don't know of going through processes. Because everything they just get.
It's instant.
If you get a task on school now, you can go into Google, you get all the answers. I didn't know anything about Google when I was in school. We had to go sit in a library to get certain things. So the importance of going through the process, where I look at the boys at home, you know, there's boys that's in school. So then I would sit and see how they do their schoolwork, and then I was like, look at this. If I could have done my tasks like this, it would have been, ek sal seker 'n student gewees het as ek moet die. This type of access that the guys have now. So the importance of, I think it's something that many young people struggles with. But it's very important to go through processes.
Amen.
I had to tell myself and I had to go through these things. Before Sterktoring came, there was singing with the Jordan Dwellers. That was my process.
Sure.
You know, before singing with the Jordan Dwellers, I had to play piano and set up mics in my uncle's church. My dede, we call him my dede. I had to set up mics with my dede. I had to carry speakers. I had to do all of those kind of like things. That was my process. So before all these amazing stages that I get to share now, and all of these things, which I'm so grateful for. I'm grateful for. It's only God that's doing these things. But there was a process, and never skip the process, because there's valuable lessons during that process season. There's lessons that you're going to learn there that you can take when you're there one day.
Yes.
Don't just, it's like I said to a friend of mine in a meeting last week, I said, look at a guy that just gets $1 million, and then you look at a guy that worked for the $1 million.
I blew it. Have you seen
Yes.
it? I blew it. Exactly.
That's a good example. If you didn't work for something, you know, I don't like to talk about those things on social media, but I have a mentor, right? His name is Adam. In the beginning stages, I was angry with that guy. I was so angry. Because he would always make me work for something, and I must always, and I mean, like, you have it to give it to me. But instead of giving it to me, he would literally make me work to get it.
Sure.
I didn't understand. It took me 3 years basically to understand what is he busy imprinting into me.
Sure.
Today, I'm not 100% at it because I sometimes still get upset. It's normal. But at the end of the day, when I think of all these processes, making me work for it, then I appreciate it more. Making me wait for the right time. Because sometimes us as young people, you just see now, I have X amount of money. I'm going to go buy this thing now.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, look like what happened in COVID. Nobody was prepared for it. Nobody had proper savings, like especially us as young people. We didn't have anything, you know. And that taught me so many things. I'm actually so great. I'm gonna say this on this podcast. I'm grateful for my mentor.
Sure.
Guys, get you someone that you assigned to. Someone that can rectify you when you're wrong. Someone that you can phone and say, "Ish, I don't know. How am I going to approach this meeting now?" Right. It's so you don't know everything.
Yes.
You don't know everything.
Sure.
I'm grateful for the fact that God has allowed me to have someone that I'm assigned to. That speaks to me and tell me, "Nah, that's what you're doing now." Even in my business. It's I get it. Like a father would tell me, "You're wrong now."
Yeah.
That's how I get it. Sure. And it taught me valuable things that I will always remember. I will always take it with me. And now with my son, you know, I'm grateful that I went through those things, because now I can teach him the same things. Exactly. I can't just, I'm not just gonna buy you a car for 10,000 rand. No, I will never do those things.
Yeah.
I will rather make you understand. I mean, this 10,000 rand can go towards your school because you're gonna learn something. Yes. That kind of like a thing. Sure. So it's important to go through the processes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you, this is the biggest hit ever. Ster Tour.
Yes.
What was the process? Because were you the only writer on it? And
yes, I'm the only writer, only producer on it.
How was that? What does Ster Tour mean for you?
We all know it's a scripture, right?
Yes.
Right. Let me explain this to you. There was a guy by the name of Yuma Sikela, the old topi.
Yeah.
Yes. So one day he had a gig at the Boardwalk ICC. So my friend Cameron Ward, the guitarist, he was playing there. And then so the music industry works like this. If you bring in Tasha Cobbs or Israel or whoever now, because I know you, I have access to Israel.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna call you Isaiah, bro. I would like to meet that man. Yeah. That kind of like a thing. So that's what I did with Kimmy. So I was very over Yuma Sikela and his music. He was the guy with the trumpet. He passed on. God rest in peace, my uncle Yuma Sikela. Good guy. I phoned Kimmy when they were in PE. I was still staying in PE, and I said to him, I would love to meet that man. I like his story, because Yuma Sikela was very business minded. And that is the thing that got to me with him. So you would see him, the Yuma Sikela, but then you would see him on an ad for funeral policies, Asipol, and all of those things. So the business aspect about his life was very nice. That's what I was after. I always look into detail. Instead of just singing here on stage and blah, 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 then you must go home and there's no money. So I look at those kind of like things. And then he sat me down one day at the boardwalk and he said to me, get that one song that's going to pave the way. This is before Ster Tour. He said, get that one song that's going to pave the way for you. Then myself and my family went through something. We adopted a little girl, and it was a very difficult season. It was tough because now, with the I don't even want to go into detail with it, but with the whole adoption thing, we were almost gonna lose her after adopting her at the age of 2 months. I think she was 2 months old, and then when she was 5 or 6 years old, the biological parents came and they want her now. But I mean, like, you don't do that to a child. Even though I understand it's a hectic situation that my family, because now you must now think, it's biological people. We actually we couldn't adopt. We had to foster, because to adopt you must sign it off. So we could never sign the adoption papers. So we could only foster. And when you foster, every second year they put a child in the newspaper to see if one of the biological people don't want the child or something like that. And that's when God gave me Proverbs 18 verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to him. I ran to God with the situation. So the motivation behind the song is that little girl. She's 8 now, or 9 now. She's still with us. Sure. And I never understood why such a simple song, simple chords, but that is the song that Yuma Sikela also said, get that one song. So that song paved the way for Donker Ton. It paved the way for Onze Sorvanas. It paved the way for Ons Wen in Jesus. Then God that song allowed Jesse Lottering to sing Ons Wen in Jesus Naam with joyous celebration, which is big. That song made me meet Cheryl Brady from the United States. So you get T.D. Jakes and then you get Cheryl Brady. So it's heavy. That song made me meet that lady. You know, and they wanted to work with me, Chris Baker and them. They wanted me to come that side. All of these kind of like things happened because of that song.
Sure.
That song made me travel the country hectically. Like I went to Namibia already. I went everywhere where I wanted to go. It's because of a song. What I'm experiencing in the corporate world today is because of a song. When I meet a business person, they know me as the Steertoren boy. I use that. I'm still riding that wave.
Yeah.
I'm still, because I took that advice that he gave me. Just get that one song. Like now, I haven't released songs now in 2 years probably.
That one.
It's still that song and the song that I've recently, 2 years ago, released, Ons is oorwinnaars, Bitter is jou stryd, maar soet sy oorwinning wees. But all of those songs is still riding the wave for Steertoren.
Come on, man.
Because that is the foundation when it comes to me growing in the industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Steertoren is a powerful song. And listen, I know every time people get into the church, somewhere, somehow, somebody's going to sing that song. And again, congratulations on that powerful song.
Thank you so much, man.
I want to ask you, how do you balance the creativity side, the ministry, and then family? Because recently, you just got married. Recently, you just got your first child, brought your first child in the world, and I want to say congratulations. How do you juggle all these things right now? In business.
It's something that I'm still trying to figure out. Firstly, I love my family. Everything that I do is for them. I have better reason to getting up early in the morning. I have a better reason to do what I do. You understand? It's still something I'm not good at it. I'm definitely not, because sometimes my wife would tell me, you say yes to everything. You want to help everybody. We need this, but you want to still help here and blah, 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 blah. All of this kind of like. So it's something that I'm not good at it. I'm honestly not good at it, but I'm working towards it. I'm willing. One thing that I've learned in the short time of being married, because I'm married now for almost 5 months.
Beautiful.
And I love it.
It's beautiful.
I absolutely love being married. I honestly love being married. I love my wife. So, one thing that I've discovered is to be very honest and transparent.
Yes.
You know, be honest, and this is the advice that the pastor that married us is one of my friends, Pastor Brenton Goldman.
Yes.
Very good friend of mine.
Good man.
Yes, very good man. That's
leader.
A good guy. And besides the fact that he's a pastor, we close friends. We close friends. So he told me, be open with your wife. Don't hide anything. And I never used to just open up about anything to anyone. I'm secretive about stuff. But the moment I started doing that, everything changed. My wife has so much, my wife respects me. She has hectic respect for me.
Sure.
But that comes from a certain place because I'm open with her. She don't have to worry about, am I going to come home?
What
am I
doing?
Exactly.
Where you are?
No, there's no stuff like that. We're very open with one another. And we're obviously still learning. And God has been very, very, very faithful towards us. We're still learning, we're growing, and we're going through what we have to go through.
Yeah.
Most important, because like I said, the process. I always tell a baby, the process.
Yeah.
Whatever you want in life, the process. Let's go through whatever we need to go through. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I say this. I mean, I'm not married now for a decade.
Yeah, but you're longer than me.
And you mense say for us is a groot mens. But I tell people now, the true test of a man or a woman is in marriage.
100%.
You can say, I'm a patient guy, I'm a lovable guy. Ons gaan sien.
Ons gaan sien of jy 'n patient man is. Because, there's so much of yourself that you had to let go of. Because now there's another person that you need to take in consideration.
Yes.
And that is something that I also had to learn, because I was always just about myself. I always did my own things. I never even went to my mother to ask for stuff.
Sure.
Even being a child, I never asked. I had to work. I've never studied. I've never went to these fancy schools and universities and stuff. At 19 or 18, I had to go work at Ford Motor Company. I worked there for 8 years. After that 8 years, that's when I wanted to go into music full time, which was a premature decision.
You think?
But I think it was a premature decision, but because I surrounded myself with the right people, I was able to bounce back from things that I know.
Sure.
That I missed out on.
Sure.
If I had a father that I could talk to, it would have been a better deal. My father would have said, I don't think you must. But I also think if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have been where I am.
You see what
it
I'm
was
saying?
A risk that I had to take.
Yeah.
But I do think if I had a father figure in my life that time, I could have maybe, I don't know.
I agree with you. I can tell you this though.
Yeah.
That your father would have told you, nah, don't do that. But you probably wouldn't have listened. Because my father told me a million of times, je gaan je kop stampen, and guess what? I gaan stampen op mijn kop. And then he's still gracious enough to say,
that's a father.
I told you so.
That's a father.
But he said, I did that.
Yes, definitely.
I want to know from you, Punkster music.
Yeah.
Do people make money? Like, can you actually build a career off of the music industry?
Do you watch my Facebook lives?
I do sometimes.
I cannot speak for other people. I can only speak my own experiences. And based on my experiences, not other people, no. You can't live a sustainable life out of music. Out of Punkster music especially. Not for where our country is also finding itself. And we want to change the narrative. I'm solid on this thing where I tell young people, get something else that you can fall back on if music doesn't work out for you. It's important.
Yes.
I've been in the industry for quite some time now. I've seen it on a very high scale and I've seen it on a very low scale. Music is very inconsistent. You won't be able to run a family. You won't be able to pay a bond. And like the example that I make with youngsters when I talk to them, I tell them, go to F&B. You tell F&B, I'm an artist, I'm a punkster singer, I want a home loan.
No.
They will tell you, they will tell you straight, no, you won't get that. So, punkster music it's beautiful, it's who we are, it's where we come from, but it's not sustainable. It's not something that and not just punkster.
Music in general. Whether it's secular, whether it's what, it's not consistent. You can't go there to the bank and tell them, I'm this one and I'm this one. They don't recognize those things. Yes.
I understand. So if you want to make it, get something else to fall back on. Start something. I believe the guys is charging churches a lot of money now. I believe that. I haven't done it. I haven't charged church people a lot of money, but I've charged them here and there
just to get by, man.
You can't ask me to come help you, but then I must pay for my own petrol, my own flight, my own accommodation, my own food, and all of those kind of things. And that time I had a team called Stertour.
Yes, I remember.
So
yes.
I can't put them in my position. I had Uber business. I had quantum taxis and stuff that could sustain me, but some of them didn't work. So if I charged you, it would probably be to sort out the guys here and there. Sometimes I had to go to the guys and tell them, there's no money or whatever, or make a plan. And that also caused friction amongst you guys now. You understand? So that also taught me a lot of things concerning the industry and the inconsistency of it. That's why I would honestly advise young musicians, if you have an opportunity to go into whether it's a small business or whatever, from the money that you're making from music now, start that to sustain yourself. Then you know you have something that's running on the side whilst you're doing ministry or whilst you're doing the singing thing. It worked. It worked for me. I was privileged enough to meet people that could tell me these things, and I've learned from it. If I didn't do that, I would have never been where I am now.
True. Because I know I've released a song, and
Oh wow.
yeah, I've released a song.
Which song? Where? When?
Yeah, I'll let you listen to. Okay, listen. I don't want you to listen to.
No, I must. I must listen to it.
But now I've released a song, and here's the deal: what I want people to understand. There's kind of a misconception because you wanna say I'm on Apple Music, no? But there's no money.
No, there's no money.
People don't understand.
No.
Unless you are an artist that gets millions, if not billions of streams, then you will see revenue.
Millions is not even enough with streams.
Billions.
It must be billions. It must be
To see money.
Yeah, I think the guys that's really making money it's either through, I don't know if it's through sponsors and you're affiliated to this and to that. That's how you make money, but not with the song being on the platform.
Yes.
The platform, you never really make money. I know of personal situations where we've invested hundreds and thousands on albums and stuff like that. Then you don't make that money back. The only way how you make the money back is people book you for shows. So now you charge them 20,000 to come. That's how you basically make the money to come back. But the 20,000 obviously goes to the team that comes with you because now you have a bass player. You have all those players needs to get paid. But that's how you basically make your money from the gospel industry.
Online. But I would like to say, like, especially you now, I'd like to tell you, you have over 100K followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
And do you know what's your subscriber count on YouTube? Do you not know how many subscribers you have?
I think it's about 5,000, 6,000.
5,000. No, just hear me out. To monetize on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. You are now eligible to be monetized. You just have to go monetize and eat from YouTube.
Ish.
That's all. And here's the deal: what I want people to understand, especially gospel artists, people that have a following. But your personal stuff that you do, you can get paid from. If you share about your family, put it in such a way, long form content, that people go to your YouTube. Daai mense gaan maak dat die geld na jou toe kom. Just by viewing. So put your content in a certain way that the mense jou betaal.
Yeah.
You're already recording your family. Just get paid from doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's recording their family.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
actually
tough.
something that I need to. You're confirming what the other friend of mine told me.
Yeah.
Because I have never paid attention to monetizing.
Yeah, you have to.
I've spoken to people about it, but it's never something that really kicked in by me. I must do this because I'm gonna make my. I've never. It's actually very wrong of me. I need to pay more attention to it because I've worked to get 100,000 followers on Facebook.
You see what I'm saying?
I've worked to get the subscribers on YouTube, and I think still, coming back to what we spoke about earlier on, it's the one song that
brought all
of those things. So
you see what I'm saying?
We must set up a meeting. It seems like you have a lot of information concerning these things.
But here's the point I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Trey McLaughlin or what's his name?
Trey McLaughlin,
yeah.
Yeah.
You give me that type of vibes. It's really the fact that you can play and tell people to sing and how to sing.
Yeah.
So just in that, like kind of composing and putting things together, if you release that on covers, it doesn't even have to be your songs, just on covers.
Yeah.
People would go out there and just give you 1 million views for absolutely nothing. But that's just for free.
Sure. You guys are so well informed with everything in these things.
No. We have to be able to. I think as Khaleds, you are one of the people that I'm very proud of because it shows people out there that it's possible to be as famous for basically being obedient to write a song. And it's not about fame, it's about what comes with it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wrote the song, and with the song came, hey, Alton, don't you want to come sing here with us? Church, we will pay you to come.
Yeah.
And that is what obedience does.
True.
Gives you some sort of a freedom to work with. Now I want to ask you, do you have one performance that you've done live that you can truly say that was otherworldly. It was, I remember, just to tell you, I remember one time I was still backslidden. And I wasn't backslidden hiding my sin. I was backslidden in your face. You're not gonna tell me, you understand that's the type of guy I was. Because I was angry at God and I wanted everybody. If you see me with a cigarette, or you see me in the club, or you see me with a beer, this is the life I live now. You understand? That's what I went through over a decade ago. And one day a friend came to me. He said, "There's a dienst down the Bend deep in the Northern Cape. Naby Katu. I was working at the mine. My klere was gestrek nie. I just woke up. I had something to. I probably smelled like smoke. Maar ons gaan nou na die conference. It's the last day. And I sat there, and God told me to share something. Because they already preached.
To share at the church?
Yes.
Okay.
They already preached. It's now time for testimony. Came as iemand wat wil. Ek sê, waar kan ek nog wel opstaan? I get up and I touch on the woman with the issue of blood. It was an out of body experience. That's where I had to run out of, the conference was so crazy, people started turning around and you see now wat die mense onder die gees val. And just by preaching, nothing else. So I went outside of the church. Ek kry hot flushes. Like my heart was beating fast. And the Spirit told me, if I can do this while you're in the state that you are in.
What more?
Get your life right, brother. Right. Ek sê, Vader, nee, definitief, jy is die ene. Ek gaan nou my lewe, I'm going to change my life. And since then, have you had that experience?
Are you asking spiritually?
Yes.
Or you're asking with a performance-wise?
Okay, let's say spiritually, you now came there and you sang Ster Toren or whatever worship song. And you ministered so heavily that you can surely say, daar was die Alton over daar geoperated.
There's one moment that I will never forget. It happened now already when after writing Ster Toren, it happened already. So I'm someone that always gets emotional. And I'm listening now to you. Remember I told you I speak to God like it's my father. Because he is my father. The one moment that I will never forget is when my first time singing at Greenwich. The opportunity was given to me by Jonathan. Oh,
I remember that performance. They took a shot from the balcony.
Yes.
I cried watching that performance.
Bro. So that moment put everything in perspective now for me as to what's happening, where I am, what's going to happen after this. I walked out on stage. So we started this group called Sins van Sionus, right? But then I left the group before the show, But we still had the relationship. We were still good. Then I got invited as a guest with the Sins van Sion. So I went as an artist. Then, as I walk on
the stage,
were you at Greenwich already?
No,
in the backstage?
I've never been there in my life.
So you walk up to the stage. Then the guy starts with the intro. Ruben did the introduction. He starts with the intro. You must now know, I think there was like 5,600 means by the concert. Yo, bro. I start singing. I wasn't myself.
Yeah.
There was if you watch that video correctly, I stopped, but then the crowd sang on. I stopped because the moment was really big for me. It was a big moment. I will never forget it. And you have to give credit where it's due, So the moment was so big. I feel like Alton left there. I wasn't present there.
Yeah.
I went off stage. Then that's when God told me, I told you, I'm gonna do what I promised you I'm gonna do. And even since that time, not that the show itself it did a lot of things for me. Like it really, there was a lot of people present. I think that was the second Pinkster in Greens.
Yes.
I think that was the second one because Dummy went to the first one.
Okay.
The second one. So then, after that, things just started elevating. But now I understood a lot of things better. So I used what God blessed me with there to pave the way in different other things that I wanted to do. You know, because in that show there was business people, there was people in different fields of work.
Sure.
And when the people started reaching out to me, I didn't just respond with a music perspective. I responded, no, I would love to be in this. I have a proposal for this. I need funding for this. That kind of like a thing. That was my whole approach on. So that was a moment that where it was a divine moment that I will never forget in my life.
Sure.
Obviously, there was a lot more, but that was the one that stood out and still standing out. I still speak to my wife about it and I tell her, "Ish, ek wou net jy my nie haar gesien het, auntie."
Yeah, I know.
Ek wou net jy my nie by die show gesien nie, but it wasn't even that for us. But that was a moment that I will never forget.
Wow.
Never ever. You have 5,600 people singing the song that God has blessed you with. It's just a normal scripture wat almal lees in die kerk. Almal lees Spreuke 18:10. Almal weet dat die Here 'n sterk toring is. But he gave me the melody for that scripture. And that is why the ding lay. When the guys play, and I said to the guys that day, you play the song the way it's on one gospel, and you play it original. I don't want any tierline things. I don't want lots of chords. I want it the exact same way. And when they gave me that,
wow,
it was divine. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It was very, very, very good.
Sure. Married, and you're also a person that's very well known. And same with me. And I want to ask you, do you think it saves you from a lot?
You have a negative side and a positive side to it. That's my view on it. The positive side on it, like I said, if your mindset is right, then you can turn all these attention to you into a positive thing. You know, like for myself, I don't like to call myself a hustler. But I like to think of how can this thing benefit me? Can I start something out of it? You know, can I start a small business out of it? That kind of like a thing. So, I think that's the positive side because I always seize the moment, especially when I meet someone and I find out, oh, you in business. It's something that I would like to be in. I would drop my 2 cents in and say, okay, I'm this guy. I would love to start this. I would love to be in this. The negative side to it, there's sometimes time, and this really happens. There's sometimes times where you go through things yourself because you're a human. But now you get into a mall and people, hello, Alton, blah, blah, blah. Now, sometimes you don't greet and then the man says,
yeah.
Or you don't want to take a picture and then is because you are also human. You go to, I'm not saying we as artists needs to be rude. Because, vat maar die foto. Instead of, or do the greet instead of having people to post you na Alton over om wat jy nie is. Because at the end of the day, never forget the power of people.
I'm telling you.
Yo,
you know what happened to Scott Mapuma now?
I've recently seen that thing.
He went on a podcast and said, I'm not taking photos anymore. Because BSA. People say, okay, if you're busy,
then we'll
give you the necessary space that you want. When you went to go perform on the stage, everybody stood still. They didn't sing along, didn't dance along, they danced alone. And that's what people don't understand.
No, sometimes fame can kill you.
Sure.
It can do that. So even if you're going through emotional things, which I think a lot of people like, especially in the music industry, because jy's so emosioneel want jy maak jy geld, jy sien dit, nou voel jy nou nog ek moet nog foto's vat en dit en dit en dit. See it as you paving the way for the next occasion.
Yes.
Because that is how the industry works. Jy werk towards the next point, towards the next. Het gaan die hele tyd so until your real breakthrough now happens. Something happens in your life. So the importance of having to know how to manage it also. Because the negative, if you just focus on the negative, then you can't last in the industry.
Yeah.
You're definitely not gonna last. That's why I'm saying going through the processes, because when you get to that level of being so much famous, all these processes, there's things that you learn. You learn to respect people. You learn to know how to talk to people. You know how to consider other people above yourself. Those kind of things. It's important. It's basic things what jy so geleer het as jy hierdie process. The one thing that I would like to mention is this. The new artist that's currently coming on the scene, God bless them, very talented. One thing that my vocal coach said, he said to me, Alton, you must always remember, there's always going to be a new kid on the block.
No, facts.
Always going to be a new kid on the block. The only problem that I have is the guys is getting platforms now. Now they think they're on the same level as the people that has been there. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the fact that you're gifted. I don't have a problem with the fact that you're getting opportunities. I have a problem with the fact that you think you're on the same level as the people that has been there. It's like, for example, Alton Zakay, Kevin Boyce.
Yeah.
Dumasan.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Years experience. Years.
Hoe kan ek nou wel dink ek is op dieselfde level van Pastor Kevin? Ek kan. I might sing a little better. Yeah, that's fine. But the character, the experiences wat hy man opgebouw het alle jaar. He actually paved the way for Alton Zakay to do that, to sing Afrikaans in the way that I'm doing it now. You know, so we just need to get that dynamics right. I think that's what many people is missing on social media, because sy kom nou op die podcast, na die podcast voel ek nou ek is famous, nou het ek boek Alton @omshanziwater.com. Go through the processes, man. It's important.
Sure. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't know if I answered that question.
No, okay. I got it. What advice would you give artist that has been doing this for a while now? New ones? Because somebody said it once, say your gift will make room for you, right?
Yeah.
And place you before
No, that's
great
not somebody, that's a scripture.
No, yeah.
It's biblical.
But they said it in this sense.
Okay.
Your gift will make room for you and place you before great men.
Yeah.
But your character will sustain you.
Ooh, character can take you where your gift can't.
So would you like to, is there advice that you would like to give to the artist out there?
Like I just said, your character can take you where your gift can't. If you don't know how to be with people and also be respectful towards others, then you're in the wrong industry. Like this Scott's thing that you just spoke about. He now burned himself because of not knowing what to say firstly, and not having respect for the next person. That kind of because these people made him.
Exactly.
That people invested their time, their money. The show where they stood still, they paid to be there. So now you can tell them, I'm not going to take a picture. They paid to see you. So let me say this in Afrikaans. Jy moet baie nederig wees.
Yes.
Wees nederig saam met mense, voor mense, and make sure that that mense wat whoever agter jou kom, agter jou kom, hulle gaan 'n goeie fondasie het, because you were respectable towards others. I say this to my wife. The reason why I sometimes stop and I go to the people and I talk to the people is because one day I'm not going to be here, but my son is going to have to meet. Hy gaan wel say I'm the Zakay.
Yes.
You know?
Then they would.
And then gaan hulle, jou pa dit en dit. Dis hoekom ek nou in Kimberley is. I'm here on the ground, bro. I'm literally working, I'm knocking on the doors, I'm going to be niks met sangery te doen at the current moment. Sure. I sang yesterday at Crossover City Church. Thank you, Pastor Chess. And then I went to the R to do a concert. But besides that, there's so many meetings I've done on this route in this time, because I understand the importance of seizing the moment and getting to be okay with people.
Sure.
You know, when I go on this route, I can stop in any town, Stradenburg, Hopetown, Petersville, all these. I can stop there and go to people because I've built a relationship with them.
Wow. That's beautiful. I have one last question.
No problem, sir.
You just recently became a father. Hoe voel het om iemand te zien? He's making it. How does it change your perspective of life? Hoe zie je nou die lewe?
Bro, that's another thing.
Mm.
I think I spoke to you earlier on about it. It gave me it gave my life a different meaning.
Mm.
It gave me a different meaning in the sense of having something that I'm assigned to. You know, when I get up in the morning now, I feel like there's a much better reason. It's not a thing of where I'm going to go sleep again now, because at the end of the day, there's someone that's looking to me now.
Mm.
So I don't want to get emotional. It's a blessing. Let me say it's a blessing.
Wow.
It's something that I will never ever take it for granted.
Wow.
Something that I will always work hard to make sure my son don't go through what I had to go through.
Sure.
My son will never experience what I experienced.
Wow.
My son will never not have a present father. My son will never have to go stay by anyone else whilst I'm alive.
Sure.
You will never have to do those kind of things. It's because it's things that I went through, and it's things that I'm still struggling with. I'm still struggling with the fact I still don't have a good relationship with my father, even though we're okay. But it's not a thing of where I can call my dad, I need advice. My dad has never experienced what I'm going through currently with my life. And that is also because, shout out to all the influential guys in my life that has been like fathers, like I said, my mentor.
Mentors, yeah.
They helped me to become the person that I am. But to answer your question, it's a blessing, my brother. It's ek verstaan nou dat die Here lief is vir my. Ek sien dit op 'n different level. Daar's hier 'n kar of whatever wat ek own wat kan beskryf. Daar's 'n comparison.
Beautiful.
I just love being a father.
Wow. There you have it, family. Mr. Alton Zakay.
Thank you so much, man. Oh, this was actually very nice, eh? This was good.
Yeah,
this was good.
Thank you for coming on. I only interview people that I'm interested by. I want to pick your brain.
Wow.
And so I want to say thank you. I honor the gift on your life. And I think people are going to appreciate this. There you have it, people. This is the Believer Podcast. I'll see you next time.